This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Precisely 6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Lal Malavarachi and read by Sharifa Tahir. Headlines. The 22nd Constitutional Amendment Bill will be submitted to Parliament today. The debate over the Appropriation Draft Bill commences today for the second day. Electricity tariffs will be increased by 75%. Japan provides 26 million rupees worth essential medicines to pregnant women and youth in Sri Lanka. Results of the GCE advanced level will be released before the end of this month. Price for lunch packet and a cup of plain tea reduced. Foreign news, Republicans voice anger over FBI search of Trump's home. In sports, Serena Williams suggests a retirement from tennis after US Open. Local news in detail. The 22nd Constitutional Amendment Bill will be submitted to Parliament today. It was prepared by repealing the 20th Amendment and incorporating the positive clauses of the 19th Amendment. Thus, according to parliamentary standing orders, the bill can be debated 1 week after the first reading if it is not challenged before the Supreme Court. The Cabinet has approved the 22nd Constitutional Amendment Bill. After that, the bill was published in a gazette. The ability of a person holding dual citizenship to be involved in governance activities has been blocked by this Constitutional Amendment Bill. Meanwhile, the Appropriation Draft Bill will be debated in Parliament today for the second day. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena tabled the bill in Parliament yesterday. According to the bill, expenditure heads of President, Defence, Education and Health have been increased. Public Utilities Commission has granted its approval to increase electricity tariffs by 75%. According to the chairman of the commission, Janaka Ratnayaka, the tariff revision is effective from today. He said the electricity bill of the consumers who use up to 30 units per month will increase by 198 rupees. The average monthly electricity bill for those who consume up to 60 units will be increased by approximately 200 rupees. The government of Japan, through partnership with UNFPA, has provided 26 million rupees worth essential medicines to pregnant women and youth in Sri Lanka. Ambassador of Japan to Sri Lanka, Hideaki Mizukoshi, handed over the stock of essential pharmaceuticals for pregnant women and youth worth about 26 million rupees to the Minister of Health, Dr. Kehelia Rambukwala, at the Ministry of Health, the Japanese embassy said. The essential commodities and pharmaceuticals for reproductive health for pregnant women will be distributed across the country to address a shortage of essential medications for the well-being of 215,000 pregnant women and adolescent girls, the embassy said. Results of the GCE advanced level will be released before the end of this month. The highest number of teachers and students' arrivals during the recent past has been recorded from the Northern Province. The Minister of Education revealed this in a reply to a question raised by opposition leader Sajith Premadasa in Parliament. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation giving you the news.
Scan the Lanka QR code and make your payments with People's Pay mobile payment app from People's Bank.
Continuing with more local stories. Minister Dr. Bandulu Gunawardena says that a proposal has been submitted to the Cabinet in order to confirm the continuous supply of domestic gas, implement the cost-based price formula without delay, and revise and publish the price formula on the 5th day of every month. The Cabinet of Ministers approved the proposal presented by President Ranil Wickremesinghe for a revised price formula for domestic liquefied petroleum gas. Minister Gunawardena further said that the primary purpose of government businesses is not to make profit but to provide more efficient service to the people, and if the price is set to minimize the cost, better quality and high service can be provided to the people at more reasonable prices. Under the Asian Development Bank funded I-Road 1 and I-Road 2 project, 140 civil contracts have been awarded for the improvement and maintenance of 6,250 kilometers of rural roads and 215 national roads, Cabinet spokesperson, Mass Media Minister Dr. Bandulu Gunawardena said. The minister said this at the Cabinet Decision Notification News Conference held at the Government Information Department yesterday. So far, 4,800 kilometers of rural roads and 300 kilometers of national roads have been completed, and the work of these projects is uninterrupted. That's local news for the moment.
Nobody tells time like this. So why do you still pay with cash when you have People's Pay mobile app from People's Bank? Scan the Lanka QR code and make your payments with People's Pay mobile payment app from People's Bank.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
All Island Canteen Owners Association announced its decision to reduce the price of a lunch packet and a cup of plain tea with effect from yesterday. Accordingly, the price of a lunch packet was reduced by 10%, while the price of a plain tea reduced by 30 rupees. However, this price reduction of lunch packets will apply only for the price range above 200 rupees. There will be no price reduction on the lunch packets sold at canteens. AICOA President Asela Sampath noted that the decision was taken due to a price reduction of litro gas and the prices of certain food ingredients.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
The Cabinet approval has been granted to amend the Shop and Office Employees Regulation of Employment Remuneration Act No. 19 of 1954 to allow women to work after 6 p.m. The decision is reached after taking into account the request made by a number of business institutions in various sectors, including knowledge process outsourcing, business process outsourcing, ICT enabling services. Due to the nature of those institutions, the employees of such institutions are required to work with organizations across different time zones.
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
World News headlines. Republicans voice anger over FBI search of Trump's home. Zelensky urges West to ban Russian visitors. Explosions hit airstrip in Russia-annexed Crimea. World News in detail. Ex-U.S. President Donald Trump's Florida home was searched by the FBI on Monday evening in what he says was a raid. He said Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach was occupied by a large group of FBI agents who broke into his safe. It is reportedly connected to an investigation into Trump's handling of official papers and whether he took classified records from the White House. Meanwhile, former U.S. Vice President Mike Pence has called on U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland to give a full accounting to the public of why the search warrant was carried out. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has called on Western countries to ban all Russian visitors, and the Kremlin has responded with scorn. Russians should live in their own world until they change their philosophy, Mr. Zelensky told the Washington Post. Such a ban, he argued, will be more effective than the current sanctions which bar Russian airlines and officials linked to the Kremlin. Russians can still get EU and US visas. Finally, on world news, loud blasts have been reported at a military base in Crimea, Ukrainian peninsula, Russia annexed in 2014. The blasts were in the western village of Novofedorivka, said Oleg Khrushchev, an advisor to the Moscow-installed regional head. 3 local witnesses told Reuters they had seen black smoke rising from the direction of the airstrip. The causes of the blast was not immediately known, but Russia's defense ministry said ammunition was detonated. That's on world news. Moving on to development news. The government is planning to establish a committee on economic development with wide powers to intervene in policy decisions, planning, implementation and monitoring of the efforts to overcome the current economic crisis. A senior official of the finance ministry said that the committee will have wide powers to intervene in policy decisions, planning, implementation and monitoring of the programs mooted to overcome the economic crisis.
Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
Sports news. Serena Williams has suggested she is set to retire from tennis, saying she will be evolving away from the sport after the US Open. Writing for Vogue, the American 23-time Grand Slam singles champion said she is moving towards other things that are important, adding she does not like the word retirement. In an accompanying Instagram post, she wrote that the countdown has begun. 40-year-old Williams made her singles return at Wimbledon in June after a lengthy injury layoff that had led to speculation about her retirement. She says she will play at the US Open, where she has won 6 of her major singles titles, later in August.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Sri Lanka's stocks gained from the 9th consecutive session on Tuesday and generated the highest turnover in 5 months, pushed by energy sector shares, mainly Lanka IOC, as the country allowed the energy firm to open 50 filling stations across the island in a move to avoid a future fuel crisis, dealers said. The turnover was 5.3 billion rupees, more than this year's average daily turnover of 3.06 billion rupees, the highest since March 25th. Lanka IOC contributed around 40% of 1.99 billion to the market turnover. That's on Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
And on economic news, rubber auction prices continued to elevate during June 2022, boosting the earnings growth for the period, although global rubber prices witnessed a plunge during the period, yet displayed an increase of only 4.9% on a year-on-year basis on the back of recessionary fears, according to Frist Capital Research Rubber Plantation Sector Review. Accordingly, the monthly local average auction price of rubber for June 2022 improved to 1,400 kilograms per and 1,400 rupees per kilogram, that is 122.4% year-on-year plus, while the YTD price increased by over 100% owing to the steep depreciation of the rupee against the USD by 80.0% YTD. That's on economic news.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking. LOLC Finance will continue to innovate with the next generation digitalization of financial services, delivering a superior customer experience.
And on the weather update, Met Department says several spells of light showers will occur in the western and Sabragamo provinces and in Gaul, Matara, Kandy and Nuwara districts, and fairly strong winds about 50 km per hour can be expected at times over the western slopes of the Central Hills, northern and north central provinces, and in the Hambantota and Trincomalee districts. That's the weather update. Before we wind up this bulletin of news, back to the headlines. The 22nd Constitutional Amendment Bill will be submitted to Parliament today. The debate over the appropriation draft bill commences today for the second day. Electricity tariffs will be increased by 75%. Japan provides 26 million rupees worth essential medicine to pregnant women and youth in Sri Lanka. Results of the GCA advanced level will be released before the end of this month. Price of a lunch packet and a cup of plain tea reduced. Foreign news, Republicans voice anger over FBI search of Trump's home. Sports, Serena Williams suggests retirement from tennis after US Open. With that, we conclude the morning bulletin of news.